All right, let's talk about a project that probably keeps a lot of IT leaders and executives up at night, moving your company's most critical content from one system to another. It sounds simple on the surface, but just one wrong move, and you could be looking at lost data, broken compliance, maybe even derailed projects. Today, we're going to dive into a tool designed to prevent that exact nightmare, Syntergy's Content Mover.
So, here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll break down why content migration is actually so much more complex than it seems. Then, we'll introduce Content Mover, the solution built specifically for this problem. We'll look at how it actually works, cover the real-world benefits, and finally, get to know the team that built it all.
So, let's start with the big question. Why is this such a headache? I mean, at first glance, moving content just seems like copying and pasting files, right? But in the enterprise world, it's a completely different ballgame. It's a minefield. We're not just moving files, we are moving the living, breathing history of your entire business.
And this really gets to the heart of the problem. When you move a document, what are you actually moving? See, the file itself is just the container. The real value, all of its history, its context, its security, is in the data that's attached to it. Losing that is kind of like moving into a new house but leaving the foundation behind. It just doesn't work. And this is that hidden complexity we're talking about. I mean, think about everything that gives a document its real meaning. You've got the audit trail that proves compliance, the permissions that keep it secure, the categories that make it easy to find, and of course, the folder structure that gives it context. If you move the file but you leave all of that critical information behind, you haven't really done a migration. You've basically performed a data demolition. So with the stakes this high, you just can't afford to wing it. It's not an option. You need a tool that was specifically designed from the ground up for this level of complexity. And that tool is Syntergy's Content Mover.
So what is it exactly? Well, to put it simply, Content Mover is a highly specialized tool. It's built to do one thing, with absolute enterprise-level precision: move content correctly. It doesn't just copy files. It is designed to bring all that crucial associated data right along with them, from one content server instance to another.
For any manager, for any stakeholder, this is really what it all boils down to. You need to move it quickly, so your projects stay on schedule with minimal disruption to the business. You need it done accurately to make sure data integrity is perfect and you've eliminated compliance risks. And of course, you need it done inexpensively to deliver a really clear return on your investment.
Okay, so you're probably thinking, this sounds great, but how does it actually work? Is it just as complicated as the problem it's trying to solve? And the answer, maybe surprisingly, is no. The process is actually remarkably straightforward, and that's a huge part of its power.
The whole thing is broken down into 4 really clear steps. First, you just select the content you want to move. That's it. From there, Content Mover automatically goes in and gathers all that critical data: the permissions, the metadata, the audit trails, the whole shebang. Next, it perfectly rebuilds the exact folder structure in the new location. And only then, once everything is perfectly in place, does it transfer it all over. It's a methodical, predictable process built for safety and accuracy.
Okay, so the process is simple, but what about the results? Let's get into the proof. Let's look at the tangible benefits and see why this tool becomes so essential for the teams that actually use it.
So, why do teams really come to rely on this? Well, it's because it totally eliminates all that manual, high-risk work. I mean, imagine you're setting up a secure extranet for a new partner. Instead of spending days or weeks manually recreating folders and setting permissions, you can just select exactly what they need, and the tool perfectly duplicates the structure and the security in that new instance. It saves a massive amount of time, and it ensures absolutely nothing gets missed.
And hey, you don't have to just take my word for it. Here's a quote from CIO Solutions. And what I like about this is that it highlights not just how effective the tool was in a real-world project, but also the support that came right along with it. This is the kind of real-world feedback that builds trust.
A common concern with any new tool is integration. Is this thing even going to work with our setup? Well, Content Mover is designed to be broadly compatible. It supports all the standard browsers, a huge range of live link and content server versions, and it doesn't matter if you're on Oracle or SQL Server. The key takeaway here is pretty simple. It's built to fit into your existing IT world, not force you to change it.
Now, a powerful tool is one thing, but the credibility of the company behind that tool, that's just as important. Which brings us to our final section: Syntergy, your trusted partner in managing all this content complexity.
29.
Just let that sink in for a second. That's how many years Syntergy has been dedicated to serving open text customers. In an industry where companies come and go, that kind of longevity, it really says something. It means deep experience and proven stability.
Yeah, founded way back in 1997, Syntergy has built its entire reputation as a top provider of high-performance solutions for the open text ecosystem. They specialize in helping huge, enterprise-sized businesses all over the globe solve their absolute toughest content challenges, from management all the way to migration.
Which brings us right to the final question. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about moving files around. It's about transforming a complex, high-risk process into one that's secure, simple, and reliable. It's about using your most valuable information more efficiently so you can gain a real competitive edge. So the only question left is, are you ready to simplify your content complexity?